Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we open our cupboards and refrigerators every single day, assuming we know exactly what we're looking at. But honestly, the everyday foods sitting right on your kitchen counter have secret identities, hidden superpowers, and origin stories that rival your favorite cartoon superheroes. Today, we're taking a fun, beautifully animated stroll through 4 different rooms of our magical pantry. I promise you, you're gonna look at your groceries in a whole new way after this. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's kick things off with a literal glow up. If you take an average, everyday jar of peanut butter, yeah, the exact same kind you spread on your toast, and blast it with intense light, it actually glows in the dark. No way, right? But beyond being an amazing party trick to show your friends, peanut butter is quietly a health superhero, too. Studies show that when it isn't packed with extra sugar, it can help lower cholesterol, aid in weight management, and it's a fantastic low carb source of protein. But I mean, come on, the fact that it glows is absolutely its coolest feature. All right, welcome to room 1 of our tour, sweet and sneaky fruits. Let's start with how tricky fruits can be. Take the pistachio, for example. We've all been calling it a nut our entire lives, right? Well, actually, scratch that. It's the seed of a drupe, which is a family of fruits that includes peaches and cherries. The fleshy fruit part gets removed, leaving just the seed that we love to snack on. And speaking of peaches, their smooth-skinned cousin, the nectarine, has this magical history. It originated in China over 4,000 years ago, and the word nectarine quite literally means sweet like nectar. Now, prepare yourself for the ultimate botanical mix-up. In the strict science of botany, a true berry develops from one flower with one ovary, and it has to have 3 distinct fleshy layers. Because of this wild rule, bananas, pumpkins, and even lemons are scientifically classified as berries. I know, it makes no sense. Meanwhile, fruits with berry right in their name, like raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, they totally miss the berry club. They're considered aggregate fruits. It is a completely upside-down world. So if raspberries aren't berries, what exactly are they? Well, they're secretly members of the rose family. Yep, the exact same family as the beautiful red roses you'd buy for Valentine's Day. This whole family includes raspberries, apples, cherries, peaches, and blackberries. If you look closely at the plants, you'll see they typically have flowers with 5 equal petals arranged around a central core. And just like the roses in your garden, raspberry and blackberry bushes have sneaky, prickly thorns to protect their sweet treasures. Ouch! Let's jump back to our true berry for a second, the banana. Bananas are practically the grandpas of the fruit world. They're actually the world's oldest fruit, dating back an astonishing 10,000 years. But that's not their only trick. These yellow marvels actually float in water, which, is a fun little experiment to try at home. Plus, if you ever get an itchy mosquito bite, try rubbing the inside of a banana peel on it. It magically relieves the itch, all while boosting your tired muscles and nervous system. Our last stop in the fruit room brings us to the avocado. In places like Spain and Mexico, these green, bumpy guys are affectionately called alligator pears because of their textured skin. In India and China, they go by butter pears. But here's the real secret. Avocados are incredibly patient. They actually will not ripen while they're attached to the tree. They have to be picked first, and then they wait a magical 1 to 2 weeks to soften up and give us all those incredible vitamins: C, E, K, and B6. Let's move right along into room 2, powerful plants and hidden proteins. So it turns out you don't actually need meat to get super strong. If you take 100 grams of steak, you get a respectable 25 grams of protein. But look at the challengers. The same amount of chickpeas gives you 21 grams, and the mighty almond, a whopping 28 grams. That's right, almonds actually beat steak in a 100-gram protein showdown. It completely proves that plant-based diets pack a mighty, muscle-building punch. I'd say that's the perfect excuse to scoop up some extra hummus today. Moving along, we absolutely have to talk about the hero no one asked for, but everybody needs, the Brussels sprout. They might hold the title for the world's most hated vegetable, especially by kids, but they are completely misunderstood superheroes. These little green globes are packed with cancer-fighting antioxidants, they fight inflammation in your body, and they have virtually 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, and almost no calories. Honestly, it's about time we give these little guys the superhero cape they deserve. Next up, if you want a bouncy, hydrating snack to keep you going, watermelon is definitely the way to go. It is made up of a whopping 92% water. It's basically nature's very own delicious water bottle. But wait, just when watermelon thought it won the hydration trophy, the cool, crunchy cucumber edges it out. A cucumber is 95% water, tying with lettuce and celery for the ultimate low-calorie power-up. At just 8 calories per serving, cucumbers are essentially crunchy, refreshing water just disguised as a vegetable. And for our final stop in room 2, let's look at a hidden energy boost. Did you know that real dark chocolate, specifically the kind with 70% cocoa or more, can actually have more caffeine per ounce than a cup of coffee? It's true. Plus, Harvard studies show eating dark chocolate can magically help lower your blood pressure and reduce inflammation. Just keep in mind that sugary, powdery, hot chocolate mix from the store doesn't count. You need the real dark roasted cacao beans for this magic to work. All right, gliding right into room 3, surprising food origin stories. When you order a Caesar salad, you probably picture, I don't know, a fancy Italian villa, right? Well, think again. The Caesar salad was actually a last-minute, throw-it-together masterpiece invented in Tijuana, Mexico back in 1927. A hotel owner named Cesar Cardini had a bunch of hungry friends over, but his kitchen was almost bare. He just tossed some lettuce into a bowl with a dressing made from whatever scraps he had left, and boom, salad history was made. Tijuana even hosts an annual festival every June just to celebrate it. Have you ever enjoyed a California roll or a slice of Hawaiian pizza? Despite their sunny, tropical names, neither of these foods were invented in America. Both were actually dreamed up by creative chefs up north in Canada. The California roll was crafted by chef Hidekazu Tojo in Vancouver, and the Hawaiian pizza was a fun experiment by a Greek-Canadian chef named Sam Panopoulos in Ontario. He just happened to use a brand of canned pineapple called Hawaiian, and the name stuck. Moving on to dessert, let's talk about the pound cake. You might think it gets its name because the final baked cake weighs exactly a pound, about half a kilo. Nope. The name actually comes from its cartoonishly simple original recipe. Back in the day, to make it, you literally just mixed 1 pound of butter, 1 pound of sugar, 1 pound of eggs, and 1 pound of flour. Talk about a super heavy, dense, and magically delicious treat. Let's solve one of the greatest grocery store mysteries of all time. What exactly is Spam? No, it's not some secret government acronym. It's really just a playful abbreviation for spiced ham. And it's not even all that mysterious. A can of Spam is made from just 6 incredibly simple ingredients: pork, salt, water, potato starch, sugar, and a little sodium nitrate to keep it fresh. Really not so spooky after all, is it? Finally, for our grand finale, we are stepping into room 4, the Weird Wild Food Science Lab. Let's settle a classic dinner table debate. If the herb coriander, which you might know as cilantro, tastes exactly like a bar of soap to you, don't worry, you aren't crazy. Your body actually has a unique genetic superpower. It turns out you might share a specific group of genes called OR6A2. This gene gives you the ability to detect soapy chemicals called aldehydes, which are present in both coriander leaves and, well, actual soaps. So next time, just blame your DNA, not the chef. You know, nature colors and flavors our food in some pretty wild ways. Wild salmon, for instance, are naturally pink because they eat krill. But farm-raised salmon, they are naturally grayish-white. Farmers actually have to feed them a healthy nutrient dye called astaxanthin just to turn them pink. And speaking of dyes, that common red food dye in candies and soft drinks, it's often made from crushed up bugs. But the wildest one for sure, historically, some artificial vanilla flavoring actually came from a goo that beavers emit to mark their territory. It's super rare today, but man, when a label says natural flavoring, nature can be pretty wacky. Let's look at the science of space food. The sandwich was originally named after the English Earl of Sandwich. He was a gambler who famously refused to leave his card table, so he asked for meat tucked between bread just so he could eat with one hand. Fast forward a few centuries, and the humble sandwich literally went to space. Astronaut John Young smuggled a corned beef sandwich onto his spacecraft for a zero-gravity snack. Unfortunately, floating crumbs in zero-G are super dangerous to spacecraft panels, so NASA quickly slapped a ban on space sandwiches. As we wrap up this fun food tour, let's look at a hilarious pantry irony. The iconic Oreo cookie, famous for being Milk's favorite cookie with its creamy white center, doesn't contain dairy or eggs at all. It's completely vegan. Meanwhile, the sweet, earthy fig, a total staple of healthy plant-based diets, isn't strictly vegan in the wild. To grow, many natural figs rely on a tiny female wasp crawling inside to lay eggs. The wasp unfortunately doesn't make it out, and the fig naturally digests the wasp as it ripens. Don't worry though, commercially grown figs today usually don't need the wasps. So our everyday food is full of beautifully animated, mind-boggling surprises. From glowing peanut butter to sneaky non-berry raspberries and zero-gravity corned beef sandwiches,
The culinary world is just wonderfully weird. What other magical secrets do you think are waiting to be discovered right now in your very own pantry? The next time you open that cupboard, take a closer look. You never know what superpower your snack might be hiding. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.